everybody. Hope you're having a great start to your week, holiday. And if you're not in the United States, well, then hope you had a nice Monday. Welcome. We're here to talk Royal Caribbean Cruises, answer your Royal Caribbean Cruise questions. I'm here to answer as many Royal Caribbean Cruise questions as I can this hour. And we're going to start with the most important question, which is how many days until your next Royal Caribbean Cruise? Type it in chat. Let's count down together. I have 13 more days until the Royal Caribbean Blog Group Cruise Mariner of the Seas. I cannot wait. I am so excited to get back on a cruise and get back on a cruise with friends. That's what makes the group cruises so fun, is that it's not just another Royal Caribbean cruise, which is fun, but when you add the dimension of a lot of people who love cruising and are your friends, it is even better. We had a super chat that began the chat even before the stream started. Sherry Andrews, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Sherry. Teresa McShane is here. Powerful female. Put down that hot dog and log on. I know, right? My mom told me I had to have a hot dog today, actually, believe it or not, July 4th. So, Ron Ladowski, good evening to you as well. We have an epic super chat coming in to start things off as well. Josh Carruthers, woo! 13 more days till the unbelievably epic Royal Caribbean Blog Group Cruise on Mariner. Josh, I'm really, really excited. I don't know if you can tell, but I am really, really excited for that cruise, man. That first night, there's not gonna be a lot of sleep. I'm gonna go nuts on that first night. I'm just saying this right now. It's gonna be making up for lost time. I can't wait to see all my friends. It's so exciting. This is like, I think going on a cruise where you have friends on board is probably the closest thing you have as an adult to that feeling of going to the first day of school. But first day of school was never exciting, but like you saw all your friends. I don't know if that makes sense. First day of camp, I don't know. I'm sure this is an analogy that I'm missing. But anyway, we're also here to answer your Royal Caribbean Cruise questions. So we have a super chat coming in from Hillary Holman. Hillary, thank you for the super chat. Just got back from Allure yesterday. Thanks for all the tips and tricks. It was a great trip. Awesome. I'm really glad to hear that. Love Allure this season. I'll be on Allure for the first time in forever. No songs required. When we go in September on Allure this season. I've not been on Allure since 16, something like that. Has it been that long? My goodness, might have been like a Royal Caribbean Blog group cruise. Just haven't ever crossed paths over there. Manella wants to know, do you have to be vaccinated to go on Royal Caribbean? You do. If you're above the age of 12, you absolutely do. Josh is already packed for the group cruise. I'm calling shenanigans. I want to see a photo of said packing. I don't believe you. 2 weeks out? April, can you give me your impressions of Explorer of the Seas? You know, Explorer of the Seas, Voyager class. I love the Voyager class, April. Great value. Still lots to do on board that ship. You know, she doesn't have the upgrades that, you know, Mariner and Navigator got, but just because it doesn't have water slides doesn't mean it's not a great ship, you know? I was actually, April, this close to booking the Explorer of the Seas. I was supposed to get yesterday. I would have gone on yesterday. I thought about doing it, but then I was like, well, we got the group cruise coming up. I want to save my excitement for that. But Explorer's a fun ship. You know, it's just obviously if you're looking at Mariner, if you're comparing it to Mariner, this season doesn't have all the features that Mariner has because Mariner got an upgrade, but don't let that stop you. It's still a fun ship. Voyager class ships are always a really, really good point. Sharon Stockman, it has been a while. Sharon, it is good to see you. Happy July 4th. Fraser, the solo traveler from the UK. Hello from England. Hello. Good to see you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Brandy with the super chat. Thank you, Brandy. 27 days till wedding cruise on Allure. I swear, first of all, thank you for the super chat. I swear your countdowns are going up, not down. All right, Josh sent a photo. Let me make sure there's no underwear in this photo. All right, he might actually be packed. I can't believe it, but he might actually be packed, guys. All right. I don't know what to say other than wow. Chris Smith, thank you for the super chat. How do we add friends to our floating cabana? Should we call or do on board? You don't have to do anything, Chris. Basically, what you do is you just tell them, hey, you know, either you're all going to walk off together or you're just going to meet at the cabana later. All they need to know, Chris, is your name. Obviously, you know there's a capacity there, but you don't have to give them a list of names as long as they know your name or more specifically, the lead name on the reservation. You don't have to give them names. It doesn't matter. It's certainly easier if you walk with them into, you know, like you walk off the ship together, walk to Cocoa Beach Club and go about it that way. But there's plenty of people in chat who can attest to that they've shown up by simply saying, hi, I'm with Matt. When I told them to do so, not creepily showing up. But yeah, you could totally do that otherwise. So don't feel like you have to give them a name. It's totally fine there. So Sharia is going on Independence of the Seas. Oh, any Embarkation Day tips? Yeah, I mean, a couple things. Number one, your pre-COVID test, print it out beforehand. Have a printout. Yes, you can show it on your phone, but it's way easier with a printout, especially if you have more than like one or two people, because it's a lot easier just to show them. So have your printout of your documents there. Sharia, the day of the cruise, so the actual morning, before you even get to the terminal, complete the health questionnaire. So basically, when you go to your check-in and the app, you should have everything done. And I guess we'll expand that and say, if you haven't already, make sure you have your check-in time, arrive at your check-in time, have everything green on there, upload your selfie photo, you upload a photo of the vaccine card, easy peasy right there. Once you're on board the ship, Sharia, next thing you want to do, get something to eat. You deserve a lunch, so have something to eat. Everything's better on a full stomach. Then go make any specialty dining reservations. If you have a dining package, now is when you want to book them. 1 o'clock p.m. If you have kids, go to Adventure Ocean, register them over there. And then on top of that, if you're concerned with or you just want to see, it's a good idea, go to the dining room. On your C-Pass card, if you have traditional dining, if you have My Time, you can ignore this tip. But if you have traditional dining, on the bottom of your C-Pass card, it will say the table number. I don't know if you can see it right there, but mine says table 153 on deck 3. So go down there, make sure the table's good, the location looks okay to you, the right amount of seats are at the table for your party. Blah, blah, blah. If they're not, talk to the maitre d'. There's many more tips there, Sharia, but those are the 5 I could rattle off the top of my head. And most importantly, one more, do the muster drill while you're eating lunch. When you sit down with your food in the Windjammer and you're eating your lunch, take your phone out, do the muster drill. So multitask. That's the key right there. Let's see here. Lots of questions, guys. Thank you for joining us here. And yes, powerful. I didn't see the message that you're talking about, but absolutely couldn't agree more. There is no room for politics over here, guys. Just keep it somewhere else, not here. There's plenty of places on the internet to talk it. Please not over here. Thank you. Brad wants to know, happy July 4th. Happy July 4th, Brad. Out of all the places you've been to, which one was your favorite and why? Cuba. Havana, Cuba was amazing. I mean, maybe because it's the forbidden door, maybe because I just wasn't able to go there. But I mean, the scale of Havana makes San Juan, Puerto Rico look like a little mini, like a small little village. I mean, it was the amount of history, culture, amazing. Of course, Alaska is Alaska, and I could go to Alaska every day. I would love to do so. It's absolutely stunning and beautiful. So, yeah. Jaden wants to know, what are the friends of events that are on the cruise compass? Yeah, there's 2 of them usually I can think of. There's Friends of Dorothy, which is it's basically code words for certain activities. So Friends of Dorothy are LGBTQ whatever plus whatever meetup. So it's self-run. None of these are crew member run. It's self-led. But if you want to meet up with other people, that's what Friends of Dorothy are. And then Friends of the other one, which for some reason I'm blanking on the name here. Someone's gonna correct me in the chat. Is Alcoholics Anonymous. So that's why they want to keep it anonymous. They don't put an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. They put Friends of Bill W. That's it. They put it there. There's a story behind why Bill W. and Dorothy. You can Google it, but basically that's what those are for. So they're just keep it more anonymous, more not that you couldn't show up and see who's there, but not call attention to it essentially. JRX, thank you for the super chat. What size suitcases fit under the beds? I don't have a specific size for you. I can only tell you that all my suitcases have always fit under there, JRX. It's ideal if you can nest them. You have smaller ones, but normal size luggage. I'm like not a steamer trunk, but normal size luggage. I don't know. I've not had any problems with luggage getting underneath the bed over there. So, let's see here. Santi wants to know, could you do more than one excursion at a port? You could, but I wouldn't recommend it. Even if you're in port for like 12 hours or so, there's 2 issues. Number one, there's a lot of energy expelled on excursions. So you might be tired. Number 2, the timing of them can be really difficult to do. So my advice to you, Santi, is maybe book one tour, but then do something else on your own, like walk around town, have lunch, do something that's more like on your own as opposed to 2 organized tours in a day. I think that may be a little too much. Tobias, thank you for the super chat. Which royal caribbean ships have I not sailed on? There's a number of them, actually. Liberty of the Seas, Voyager of the Seas, Spectrum of the Seas, Ovation of the Seas, Enchantment of the Seas, Radiance of the Seas. There's a fair amount. almost killed a bug there, but just missed it. Let's see here. Joel, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Question for you, Matt. Me and my wife and my mother are flying to Canada to cruise out of Vancouver to go to Seattle and then Hawaii. What are the requirements for COVID testing for Canada? Same as the US, basically. You don't need a COVID test to get in the country. You just simply need to arrive. Basically, the main difference, Joel, is going to be the Arrive Can app. So you don't need a test to get into the country, but you're going to need a test to you're going to need the Arrive Can app filled out. Arrive Can, just download it on your phone. It's basically you fill it out 72 hours before you arrive, and it's kind of like your declarations form, but it not only includes like your name and where you're going and all that, it also has your vaccine information in there. So do yourself a favor, fill that out, be good to go. BC 31, thank you for the super chat. Happy 4th of July. Off the wall question. Heard Mexico requires biodegradable sunscreen in national parks. True or false? If true, any recommendations? Best cruise info, hands down. Thanks, Brian and Tammy C. I have not heard. I've heard of certain places requiring it, so there's some truth that I cannot confirm or deny because I don't know if specifically Mexico national parks require it because I've never been to a Mexico national park. Whenever I've been to Mexico many times, but never in a national park. Usually we just go to, the beach, like some business that's running it, as opposed to like, a national park. So unfortunately, I hate to do it, BC there. I got to give you an I don't know on this one because I really don't know. ZR, we're going on Serenade of the Seas, and if my wife and I test positive before the cruise, do we get a full refund? Absolutely, yes. If you or anyone in your party test positive up to 14 days before the cruise, no problem at all. They'll give you a full refund. I did this. This happened to me when you may know, I had COVID-19 and I was supposed to do a back-to-back. So cruise number 2, we never made it to. And we just told the Royal Caribbean, they're like, no problem at all. And I got a cash refund like a week later. So yeah, no problem at all. You don't have to worry about that you're not out. There's actually a specific policy that covers that, but that only covers it if you or somebody tests positive, not anything else. So, clicked on the same message again. Scott Beering, hello. Danny DiMatteo, what's going on, man? Any issues or concerns with Beach Cabana's Cocoa Beach Club versus the Floating Cabana? No, I've done both. I like them both. There's more of a breeze in the Floating Cabana, but I really like the beach ones, the beach cabanas at the beach club versus the Floating Cabana. So, if it matters to you, the Floating Cabana has a shower, and obviously the slide and whatnot. So yeah. Damien wants to know, are kids automatically enrolled in the Crown and Anchor Society after first cruise? Somewhat, yeah. So they can always get their points, Damien, but you need to set up an account for them. But it's pretty easy. You can just, if you've already cruised before, which I think you already have, maybe just talk to the loyalty ambassador. You could call the Crown and Anchor number. The reason why you want to set up the account, Damien, is to get their number. You need their account number. So that way on future cruises, you can attribute the points to them and they can accrue it on their own as well. So, but yeah, it's pretty easy. And by the way, if you cruise for like 20 years with your kids and they never set up an account, they can actually retroactively go back and set it up again. So it doesn't matter if you didn't do it before. As long as you have the sail date and the ship name, you're good to go. So Chris Casabir, I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. Chris, thank you for the super chat. I do not see a message from you over here. Krista, can men wear shorts, especially dining on Oasis? Krista, this is one of these gray areas where like it's purposely left vague by Royal Caribbean. There's a lot of people, Krista, in the chat who are going to share their opinions on it, but neither them nor I are the arbiter of what you should or should not do when it comes to dress codes. Because quite frankly, Krista, Royal Caribbean really doesn't enforce the dress codes. So let me put it this way. Would your husband or, I don't know, a male compadre be turned away for wearing a pair of shorts in the dining room for dinner? No. Especially dining. I didn't even read that part. Same answer. They again, it's very, very infrequently enforced. But again, should men wear shorts in the dining room, especially dining? That's a different question, and that's a question only you can answer there. I am not your father. I cannot answer them for you, and I'm not Royal Caribbean either. So yeah. Let's see here. Josh K, thank you for the super chat. By the way, did I miss the Chris K Spear or a name I couldn't pronounce? I'm gonna go one more time to see if I missed it, but I don't think I did. I'm sorry, Chris. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, buddy. Josh K, thank you for the super chat. Here's Josh's question. Sailing on Harmony to Seas July 17th. How difficult is it to get prime dining time? 7 p.m. with the Olympic dining package. If you go, Josh, on day one, you board the ship, you get something to eat, because like I said, everything's better with a full stomach, and then you go immediately to make reservations, you should have very little issue. I've had very little issue with that. The only ship I remember having problems with that recently was Wonder of the Seas, but that was because that was a brand new ship, and everyone and their mother knew all the tips and secrets about dining packages. So I would not lollygag on it. If you get on board the ship and make reservations immediately for as soon as you get on board for all the nights, you should have little problem. You might have to be a little flexible, Josh, maybe 7:30, 7:45, something like that, but it should not be a major problem there. Thank you, Josh, for the super chat. Kathy Crandell, thank you for the super chat, Kathy. I really appreciate you. Good to see you again. 11 days to ovation. Heard it's a mess at the port of Seattle. Any hints? We have the key and a time of 11 to be there. By the way, Cuba was the most interesting tour. Loved it. Cuba was amazing, right? I'm glad we were able to go. In fact, I remember July 4th, 2018, we were boarding Majesty of the Seas to go. And I know that because it was July 4th and I threw my back out the day before that. And I got getting out of bed. It took me like half an hour to get out of bed that morning. My wife was like, we're canceling the cruise. I'm like, no, we're going. And I'm glad we did. I mean, I was in pain for the first couple days, but it was worth it. It was absolutely positively worth it to do so. So yeah. Anyway, back to your question. Seattle, yeah, the problem with Seattle, and I put this not on Royal Caribbean, I put this on the port people. So when you go into any cruise terminal, Port Canaveral, Port Miami, Port Los Angeles, Port of Seattle, the people that are checking you in are not Royal Caribbean employees. They're almost always third-party employees through Interline Cruises, I believe is the company. And the training with them is very hit or miss. And on ports like Seattle, Vancouver, ports that are not traditional, like year-round ports, and it's not a dedicated port that Royal Caribbean operates, like it's the Royal Caribbean terminal, it's usually more of a free-for-all there. So I wouldn't expect it to be like, what you maybe experienced in Florida, but pack a little more patience. You'll make it in there. It's not the end of the world, but you may find more of a cattle call than an organized thing, which is unfortunate because it's a problem that could be solved with like a little bit of foresight. I remember, Kathy, I was in Port of Los Angeles on Navigator, and we were boarding, and it was a disaster also. And I said, I told the people there, I said, first I was talking to the person. I knew that like the person who's checking me in is, she had no power, but her manager came over to check on her, and I recognized it was her manager. I said, excuse me, why aren't you enforcing the boarding times? It's crazy busy here, and this would have not been a problem if you enforced the boarding times. And she gave me a very wishy-washy, lame-o answer. And unfortunately, it reflects poorly on Royal Caribbean because people don't know that those folks are not Royal Caribbean employees. They just say, oh, this is a Royal Caribbean cruise. It's all Royal Caribbean. And yeah, so anyway, that's my rant for the evening. Pam, thank you for the super chat. Characters saying you rock whilst showing their pumped bicep. I have no bicep, but thank you, Pam, for the super chat. Thank you. Danielle, where's the option for to book a refundable deposit online? It's right at the end, Danielle. When you get all the way to the end, before you hit submit payment, there's like a checkbox there. But Danielle, stop what you're doing. Stop. Don't do it. Don't book the cruise. What? Matt doesn't want me to book a cruise? No. Call a travel agent. Let them do it for you. I'm telling you, Danielle, there's more than the booking is the easy part. It's everything else in between that a good travel agent really can help you out there. So just my recommendation to you. But if you want to do it on your own, it's on the last step when you get to you enter all the information and you get to that last page. There's a little checkbox or something like that, as I recall, that allows you to flip between the two options. Refundable and non-refundable, that is. So Kelly Goodson wants to know, is the key worth it? It is not, in my opinion. I don't think so. I think it sounds better than it is. Richard, is Freedom of the Seas a good ship? Yeah, all the ships are great. I love all the cruise ships. There's not one ship I would say, Richard, that's a bad ship for you. Not a Royal Caribbean one anyway. So, yeah. Rachel wants to know, how do dining reservations work with multiple parties? Do each have to book by stateroom? If you're talking about are you talking about like specialty dining, Rachel? When you go to make a reservation online, there's an option to add more guests. And you only need is their reservation number and their last name. If you're talking about on board the ship, Rachel, all you need is their stateroom number. So if you're getting on before your friends, your family, and you want to make a reservation for everybody, you just need to know the room number, and they can look it up there. So, yeah. We got a lot of super chats coming in here. Thank you, guys. I got to catch up with them. Holy moly, I'm really behind. Slow Runner, thank you for the super chat. I don't see a message from you, Slow Runner, but thank you. ZR Built, thank you for the super chat. I'm looking for ZR and Slow Runner. Thank you both for your super chats. Clinton Williams, thank you for the super chat. Will we ever see you on a celebrity cruise? Yes. I have no problem with celebrity. I just, part of it, Clinton, was I only went full time with the Royal Caribbean blog at the end of 2019, and then we had the pandemic. So, prior to the end of 2019, I had a full-time job, so I had to save vacation time. Now I'm full-time on this, so vacation time is whatever I want it to be. But of course, Clinton, I still have a wife and kids, and my kids are adherent to the school schedule. And my wife, very generous with allowing me to go on cruises here and there, but I can't disappear for weeks at a time. Like, I'm going on another cruise by myself. Good luck with the kids. And by the way, don't order out. Yeah, the locks of the doors will be changed when I get home. So, yeah. But I'd like to. I would absolutely love to. The timing, the timing, I'm sure, will work out sometime soon to hopefully get me on a celebrity cruise. I'd like to be able to compare and contrast it, Let's see. Donna Holt. Donna, thank you for the epic super chat. Woo! Thank you. I don't see message. I'm looking still for ZR and Slow Runner, and now Donna. I just feel bad. I don't want to be missing anybody's questions, but I swear I don't see it. I want to keep looking, but I got quite a list now. Kenny K, do guest services always have a hole punch? For CPass cards, if you don't have RFID cards, yeah. Kenny, the new ones. So like this one, you can't use a hole punch for. So there's no barcode on the back. This is RFID. But if you have an RFID one, like, oh, my props are really coming in here. You see? Everyone says, Matt, you should clean your desk. Well, if I clean my desk, I wouldn't have props for you. This one, you could. So there you go. Scott Baring, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it, buddy. Happy 4th of July. Thanks for all you do, Scott. Thank you. And happy 4th of July to you. Happy 4th of July to everybody. Really appreciate it. Carter, thank you for the super chat. What's up, Matt? In your opinion, do you think it's worth it to be a suite guest? I mean, yeah. I guess the answer is, Carter, I mean, depends on how much the suite is, obviously. I love staying in suites for the perks we get for the kids. It's very nice, but I'll be the first person to admit that it's not necessary. You can have a great cruise without staying in a suite. You can use that money, spend it on another cruise, spend it on an awesome shore excursion, drink package, or all of the above. So the answer, Carter, I believe, is a suite worth it? Truly boils down to how much more money is it going to cost you to move up to a suite? What's your budget like? Are you really killing your budget? Could you take that money and maybe get 2 vacations instead of 1 vacation? Because I would absolutely do that instead. But if you're, doing well for yourself and your vacations you'll be taking regardless of what type of cabin you take, so it's not like, one booking a suite will put you in the poorhouse, so to speak. Is it worth it to spend the money? Sure. Sometimes treating yourself is really nice to do, and suites absolutely do a great job of that. So, yeah. Let's see here. Jared has got a good question. You think cruises will go up in price throughout the year or stay roughly the same for next year cruises? It's a good question, Jared, because you've got a couple different factors. You have inflation, of course. Then you have, of course, the anticipated recession, which may or may not have an impact there. I don't know that prices of cruises in general tend to be pretty stable in the grand scheme of things. I mean, they go up over time, obviously, but they're not. You don't see you don't see huge jumps in prices like you would with other types of things in life. I think generally speaking, Jared, prices go up over time. And I would say this is always why, Jared, I always talk about one of my favorite tips, which is book your cruise as early as you can, lock in the price. That's really important because prices do tend to go up. So if you have an inkling of going on a cruise maybe next year, I'd book it now, lock in the price, book a refundable cruise fare, and there you go. KSP Bama fan 1, thank you for the super chat. Symphony on Saturday. Nice. First time on Royal Caribbean. We have scheduled an excursion to St. John, and it's just for must-sees. St. John is like amazing. Just go to the beach. St. John, I swear, is the most beautiful beach/water I've ever been to anywhere. The watercolor, the clarity, it's the best I've been to, KSP Bama fan 1. So just spend all your time in the water there. Honeymoon Beach, Cinnamon Bay, There's another one that's even more famous than that I can't think of. It doesn't matter. The ugliest beach in St. John is like still the most beautiful beach out there. So yeah, you'll love it over there. Let's see here. Next question is from this is going back to that super chat earlier. No question, just been enjoying the show for a while, so thought I would donate. FYI, my last name is pronounced like it's spelled, K-Spear. Well, Chris, first of all, thank you again for your super chat. I appreciate you. I always feel bad because I don't know if people are just donating or which is always appreciated. Super chats, by the way, let me be clear on this. Super chats are not necessary. You don't have to do them at all. It's the tip jar here. You can certainly do so if you'd like to. And yes, I do answer all the questions that come in there, but you know, I appreciate it all. I just appreciate you guys being here. It's the 4th of July, major holiday, at least for Americans. And, you know, we've got a great showing tonight. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys being here, helping each other out. I've said this before. I am so proud of this community. I think we have the best community here in cruising. And you guys are always so helpful and wonderful and funny too, which I enjoy. Joel Collier. Joel, thank you for the super chat. When would you recommend we take our antigen test if we're flying into Canada the day before the cruise? Before we fly or when we land in Canada the night before the cruise? Ooh, that's a good question. I know what you're asking because you're asking, well, you could take, I mean, obviously you take it before you fly. I would say take it before you fly. The reason being, why would you want to fly if you're sick, right? So I would do it before you fly. You could, Joel, then take another test. I mean, you're not going to test positive that quickly even if you caught it in the airport or the airplane. I would do it before you fly. That way, you know, at least you're not. If you're going to get sick, at least be still at home for it. So I would do that. Yeah, I think that's the most logical thing to do there. Ian, what's up, man? Any recommendations on how to save 18% when booking a drink and dinner package online? Oh, save the 8. I don't know what you mean by the 18%. Do you mean not using? If you're talking about the gratuity, Ian, you have to pay it. Whether you book it online or on board, it's compulsory. You have no choice. If that's what you're asking. If you're talking about like in general to save money, I always tell folks, you know, always book things in advance. It's always going to be cheaper online than on board. So just book it. And if the price drops online, you can always cancel and rebook with no penalty. Next question is from Moritz. Is Johnny Rockets a complimentary restaurant on any Royal Caribbean ship? No. For lunch and dinner, Johnny Rockets always costs money on every ship. But for breakfast only, on Oasis class ships only, then it's complimentary. So for breakfast only, on Oasis class ships only, Johnny Rockets is complimentary. But then for lunch and dinner, Maurice, it goes back to being cost. So I think that's probably where people get caught up on there. Jorge, Bailey said test is going away in 2 months. No. So this is incorrect. And I want to make sure we stop this rumor. He said he thinks it might be a couple of months. But do not take couple to be literally 2. He did not say that. Couple, he was saying very just matter-of-factly, in a roundabout, you know, maybe it's not an exact number, Jorge. So he did not say 2. He said he thinks it's going to be a couple months more, but that does not mean 2. Could it be 2? Sure, anything's possible. But there's absolutely no direct. He did not say it's going to be exactly 2 months. Does that make sense? So these kind of rumors, this is unfortunately where the internet is bad. Somebody reads, a couple months, and then they assume, not you, Jorge, I'm just saying in general, 2, and then word starts spreading and yeah, so he did not say 2. He just said, and again, if you want to see the entire quote, Jorge, it's at royalcaribbeanblog.com on it. But no, he said a couple of months, but that doesn't mean 2. He just, you know, talking, you know, just like when you say to your kids, how much more time, Dad? A couple more minutes. Doesn't really mean 2. It means whenever I tell you it's ready. That's basically the answer. So powerful female, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Kelly says, what if we can't afford unlimited dining package but want to try specialty restaurants on Allure? Then, well, don't do it. I mean, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it, Kelly. You could, of course, book, you know, a specialty restaurant or 2 on board the ship. That would still probably be cheaper than unlimited dining. But, I mean, if you can't afford it, then you can't afford it. There's no other tricks to the trade other than just simply going to less restaurants, right? Because if you did 1 or 2, you get a little taste of it, no pun intended. And then you still get to get specialty dining on there. But yeah. Virginia, can you use a travel agent if part of your cruise will be covered by a voucher? Yes. Like FCCs? Yes. And which travel agent service do you recommend? MEI Travel, Virginia. They're a sponsor of RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. But if you go to RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, front page, big yellow form, fill that out. They will contact you. Thank you in advance for supporting our sponsor. Edward wants to know, do you think pre-cruise testing would be over by September? No one knows, Edward. Literally, nobody knows the answer to your question. There is no answer to your question, so neither do I. I want to make, when I say I don't know, I want to make it very clear, Edward, nobody knows the answer to your question. So hope that makes sense. Teresa McChain, thank you for the super chat. I'm forced to watch Royal Caribbean blog reruns today since my next 3 cruises are booked and can't book anymore until I figure out my new PTO at the new job. Boy, have I heard this before, Teresa. Usually from Josh Crothers. I don't have any more vacation time. And then magically, hey, I booked another cruise. So, but you know what? If you're going to be forced to watch reruns, this is live though. I'm glad to have you here. Susan Westfall, thank you for the super chat. Booked our first President's Cruise in 2023. Awesome. Thanks for keeping us up to date with Royal News. You're very welcome. Yeah, the next President's Cruise, Allure of the Seas, July, 23rd, right? 2023. That's awesome. Hope you have a great time on there, Susan. It looks like it was a great party this year. I kind of wish I was on board this year. Not going to lie. There was no way I would have been able to because I was too close to have tested positive for COVID, but man, it would have been nice there. Aaron Ross, thank you for the super chat. Happy 4th of July to you. Second favorite Oasis class after Wonder and why? Harmony. Because of the shows on board and the dining. Columbus Musical, Grease the Broadway Musical, and Sabor is still on Harmony. Have you tried it? And which ships have portside barbecue? Yes. Just Oasis of the Seas is the only ship that has it. It was scheduled to go on more ships before the pandemic, like Allure, but that obviously got sidelined. I think they will still expand portside barbecue to other ships, but it was amazing. I loved it. It was real. I'm not a huge barbecue fan, but like it was really good. So Oasis is the only ship that has it currently. But yeah. What perks happen on a President's Cruise? There's no perks per se, but usually there's special events on board. I guess that's a perk. So yes, special events and some special gifts are given to all the guests on board the ship. Camille, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to you. We're considering a last-minute cruise next month. There are options out of Florida. Can't even speak. Do you recommend trying to fly with the current delay cancellation issues? I mean, if you could, I don't know where you live, Camille. I mean, if driving is an option, like if you live in the Southeast, Carolinas, Georgia, Virginia, yeah, I would drive probably. But here's what I would tell you about flying. And I know the news is making it is a problem, but it's not insurmountable. It's not like everybody's flight's being canceled. I mean, there are canceled flights. There are delays. This is not new. There's more than there's been. My advice to you is this. Number one, and I've always said this before, Camille, I think you know this, fly in at least a day before your cruise. If you really want to protect yourself, fly in 2 days. If you can fly in 2 days before your cruise, there is no way you're missing that cruise because there's no way you're going to miss the cruise as a result of a missed flight. It's extremely unlikely that you would run into that many delays or cancellations that you couldn't make it. So, come in a day or two ahead of time. If at all possible, don't check any luggage. Do carry on. I know that's kind of weird, but it's a thing. I haven't done it yet, so I have not practiced what I preach here, Camille. But if you could do that, that would be another way to kind of get around that issue as well. We posted, Camille, an article. I'm going to link it to you in the chat. It was one of these like viral posts that went around Facebook, and it was like 20 tips from a flight attendant. And I think Josh Carruthers, I found it on his Facebook because he just shares everything on there. This article here that I'm going to put in the chat, Camille, I think is going to hopefully answer some questions, give you some ideas. But the answer is I would not stop traveling as a result of it. I would just take certain actions to mitigate the problems, like coming in 2 days early ahead of time. So thank you, Camille, for the super chat. Let's see here. Next question. Is St. John in the Virgin Islands? Yes, it's right next to St. Thomas. So different island, but it is in the Virgin Islands. Yes. What would I suggest for a stop in Costa Maya? Maya Chan, not the Royal Caribbean Lori. So just Google Maya Chan. Go there, tell them Matt sent you. They'll love you. So, let's see here. Will says, should you do the check-in online or just show up to the cruise? Do the online check-in. It will save you time and get you a check-in time. Do the online check-in. Trust me, it only saves you time. Delano says, when do you think Icon of the Seas news will come out? Sounds like September. Michael Bailey said that the other day. So right now, let's go with September until further notice. But I wouldn't be shocked if it changed over there. So, Deanna, thank you for the super chat. Do the drink packages include the day you get off the ship as the day they charge for? Yes. So they don't charge you for days, Deanna. They charge you for nights. So if you have a 7-night cruise, you get charged for 7 nights. So whatever the rate is times 7. And yes, it includes the day you get on board the ship and the day you get off the ship. So, yep, no problem at all. They're not going to say, no, madam, no more drink package for you. It works even on the last morning of the cruise. So, Holly's on Serenade of the Seas right now. Saw whales off the ship. Sitka tomorrow. I'm jealous. Hope you have an awesome time. Alejandro, can I board before check-in time? No, they do enforce the check-in time, so get there at your check-in time. Kenny, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Have a little FOMO with the July group cruise, but happy to be sailing on the 17th. Have a cerveza on me. Will do indeed. Thank you, Kenny. Wish you were here, buddy. Wish you were here, man. So I want all my friends to be on the cruise with me, you know. So. Riley is leaving on Ovation on Friday for Alaska. 2 questions. How much alcohol can we bring? Only up to 2 bottles of wine per stateroom. No beer, no liquor. 2 bottles of wine per stateroom. What happens if we go on an excursion through a non-royal Caribbean company and miss the ship? They leave you behind. So, you know, if you're like, don't be behind. That's it. Don't be behind. One thing you could do, Riley, is on the cruise compass for the day that you're going, there's the port agent and there's a phone number there. You could call them and say, hey, I'm running behind. If you're like 5 or 10 minutes behind, the ship might wait for you. But if you're like an hour behind, you're on your own, buddy. So, but Riley, most shore excursions that are run through third-party companies understand this. I mean, they understand who their clients are. It does them no good for that to happen. So, you know, my advice when it comes to when you're planning things on your own is to plan to be back on the ship 2 hours before the all-aboard time. If you do that, you'll almost certainly make it back, right? There's no guarantees in life, but yeah. Alejandro, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Thank you. And I see, actually, you got 2 super chats here. Happy 4th, bro. Happy 4th of July. Can I board before 3 p.m. check-in time? So the check-in times, Alejandro, are the check-in times. My advice to you is keep checking back. Sometimes you might be able to get an earlier check-in time, but they do enforce them. So, yeah. Casey says, Adventure of the Sea seems dated compared to Wonder now. I mean, that's true. I mean, literally it is because Adventure is an older ship, but it's still fun. Adventure is a great ship. Don't look at it like, oh gosh, you're going like you're doing yourself a disservice for it. It's just different. That's all. So, Big Chunga, have ever been on a Norwegian cruise? I've been on one NCL cruise. It was back in 2012. So, I'm not sure I'm really can speak much of the experience because it's been so long and it was on a really old ship there. So, let's see here. Roy wants to know, can you have multiple appetizers at Chops? Absolutely, yes. How many bags can we carry on? It's a great question. There is no limit. Whatever you can reasonably bring with you, as long as you can fit through that security machine. But Sharia, let me tell you something. Here's what I would do. My recommendation is, bring your valuables in a carry-on bag. So that's, it's like a backpack or a purse or a shoulder bag, right? But don't bring all your luggage with you. That's crazy. People do that. Like either because they're trying to get around tipping the porters list. It's like, guys, it's like $1 a bag you tip them, which is the custom. Like, what are we talking about? $10? Ooh, $10. Like, they're doing you a service because by doing that, you get to walk on the ship and you're not lugging all this stuff. You don't have all this junk with you. You certainly could do that. But I think people are just ignorant and are unaware that they can do that. But don't be a pack mule bringing the stuff on board the ship. Bring, like I said, a bag with your valuables and some important stuff on there. That's a good idea. But don't go overboard with that. No pun intended on the overboard comment. Let's see. Tukes got a question. Hello. Good to see you again, Tukes. Going on Wonder 1123 recently went on Symphony and Adventure. They seem to do a very similar main dining room menu. Is Wonder's main dining room menu similar or different? Similar. The main dining room menu is the same across the fleet. So, yep. And Alejandro, again, thank you. You put in 2 super chats. You get your name on screen 2 times. Thank you, Alejandro. Really appreciate it. Nate 97. Any tips, tricks to get a room upgrade? There's only 2 that really you can talk about. One is you could book a guarantee cabin. Maybe a very, very low chance. Like when I say low, I'm talking like I'd say it's like you got like a 5% chance. Honestly, very, very low chance of getting an upgrade there. The only way to do it, Nate, these days, or I don't think your name is Nate. I think it's NL Tate 97. Whoever you are, is, of course, royal up. You bid for an upgrade. Ever since the bidding for an upgrade became a thing, the so-called upgrade fairy has disappeared. So Missy wants to know how many bottle or how much soda can you bring on board? 12 bottles or cans, whatever, of non-alcoholic beverage per room. Matt Harris, Matt, thank you for the super chat. This is Matt going on Independence this September. How is the internet? Can you FaceTime? Yeah, I mean, the internet's not super fast, but for FaceTime, it's usually work. Get surf and stream. That's number one. I've been able to FaceTime on board. Certain things work better than other things. FaceTime, it's not going to be a super clear picture, but it'll work. So you'll probably be okay on that. Certainly an audio call will work. I mean, video, a little more hit or miss, but it'll be fine for that. Wouldn't do a mission critical phone call on there, but everything else is fine. Chris wants to know, do you know what pier Welcome used in San Juan for a day visit? Yeah, the good one. The one that I forget the name of it, but it's the one that's right downtown where you walk off the ship and you are right there. Not the one across the harbor. That one they use for the ships that leave from San Juan for the beginner cruise, but for day visitors, you're downtown. So, yep. Love it. Let's see. Smallville 79. I'm cruising to Alaska next May on another cruise line. Forgive me. At least you're a DC fan. I can at least give you that. I want to try Royal Caribbean next. What's your favorite port to leave from in Florida? Well, Port Canaveral, because I live nearby. Miami has the best cruise terminal, Terminal A, because it's brand new. That's why it's new, or that's why it's good. And it has the most scenic sail away, because unlike other cruise ports, which are more like industrial, Miami is right downtown. Like Miami sail away is the most pretty sail away. Port Canaveral is just convenient. So either of those. Crystal is taking a Western Caribbean cruise in 2024. What's the difference between Costa Maya, and Puerto Costa Maya? They're the same place. It's just different names. Literally, it means in Spanish, Puerto Costa Maya means the port of Costa Maya, but it's the exact same thing. So when you search, just search for Costa Maya. Actually, what you're really looking for is like Mahawal is the name of the town. But basically, Crystal, the cruise lines built a cruise terminal. Basically, there was nothing over there. It was literally the middle of nowhere. And they were like, you know what? People like going to Mexico on a cruise, but Cozumel is already like full. Let's just build another cruise port like 2 hours down the road. And that's what they did. So Costa Maya, if you're looking for things to do, you would search for things to do in Costa Maya, not Puerto Costa Maya. Or the name of the town is, and again, don't ask me to spell it, Mahawal. It's like Mahalual, something like that is the name of it's a very small village. But if you search for, Costa Maya shore excursions, you'll find stuff there. No doubt about it. But my recommendation for Costa Maya for what to do, Maya Chan. Google Maya Chan. It's an all-inclusive run by American expats. Fantastic, really good stuff there. Paul Somerville says, can or do the cruise ships have any protocols for all the airline delays? They do not. I mean, ultimately, Paul, it's on you to make it there on time. And this is why I always talk about come in at least a day ahead of time. I mean, again, I talked about this earlier, but there are airline delays, there are airline cancellations, there are more than there's been recently, but people are still flying, people are still making it where they need to be. You just need to give yourself more time for it in order to get there. So it's more paramount. Obviously, if you were, I would have told you this in 2019, you're crazy for flying in the same day of your cruise. And I'll tell you here in 2022, you're even more crazy for doing so. But my advice again, Paul, and we did this when we went to Alaska, is we came in 2 days ahead of time. Now, luckily, we had no issues, right? But, come in 2 days ahead of time. Book, if that's not possible, my next recommendation is find the first flight of the day. Ideally, a flight where it leaves from your city. The plane is on the ground because it came in the night before. So you don't have to worry about the aircraft getting there. And do direct flights. Even if it means driving more, I would do a direct flight. So, figure that out. But it's very possible. I know the news makes a really big deal out of the cancellations because they love to scare people about everything in general. But, people are still making their flights. I mean, it's not to say that every other flight is being canceled or delayed. It's not quite that bad. It's just more so than before. Let's see here. Eric, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to you. Love your channel. Thank you very much. Thank you for your hard work and keeping us informed and entertained. Enjoy the success. Thank you, Eric. I really appreciate you. Very, very kind words. Appreciate it. Is Wonderland worth the price? If you've never been to Wonderland before, I'd say yeah, it's at least worth it once. What's the best dishes to pick when we dine there? Don't worry about it. Every time you go to Wonderland, they would say the same thing. Well, they just pick everything for you. You get one of everything. I've never gone there, Cedric, and not had the waiter say, if it's okay, I'm just going to bring you one of everything. And everyone's like, all right, whatever. So, not to worry. Patience, thank you for the super chat. Follow up on last week. Do I need to have someone sign us in on the app to load our files for boarding? My son asked if there was a waffle bar. You know, funny enough, Patience, there was a waffle bar on Serenade of the Seas. That's unusual. That's not common. That's the first time I've ever seen it. And it was amazing. And I could go for a waffle right now. But usually, no. Pancakes, I've seen. So I can't promise you. And you didn't mention what ship you're going on. But I wouldn't bet on it, Patience, but maybe there will be. Do you need to have someone sign each of us in on the app to load? Oh, no. So if you're all on the same reservation, Patience, you need one person to do it. You'll see all their names on there. You can click all their information and go through it over there. Pretty easy. Thank you again, Patience. Mark Capo, thank you for the super chat. Could you do an excursion preview for the members of the 17th? Just wondering what your top 3 or 4 picks for each day. Ooh, an excursion preview. I think it's a great idea. Yes, I'm going to make a note. Well, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I mean, I know one way I could do it, but you're not going to like it. You know what? I'll do this, Mark. I might make that next week's podcast episode. Not this week's. I already have this one's recorded. But I've made a note of it. So that's a really good idea. Thank you, Mark, for the super chat and the idea. I appreciate it. Dodie, you don't have to ask to answer. You don't have to ask a question. Just please feel free to type your question in chat. I'm trying to get to as many as I can. I can't get to all of them, but I'll try my best. TJ, thank you for the super chat. How and when do I make a reservation for the unlimited dining package? When you get on board the ship, you just go to any restaurant and make a reservation, TJ. So you get on board the ship, just go to any specialty restaurant. They can book you any other specialty restaurant. So if you go to Chops, because it's the nearest one to you, and you go there, they can not only book you Chops, they can book you any other specialty restaurant as well. So that's the way to do it. Just say, okay, can you also book and just have it? My advice, TJ, is before you get on board the ship, have a list. Have the day, the restaurant, and the time, and of course the number of people. So that way you can really rattle them off to the people and they can book it pretty quickly. On some ships, TJ, on the promenade or in the Centrum, there may be a little desk that specializes in making specialty restaurant reservations. You go there as well if you see that first. So, and I missed a question here from TJ. We're usually, no, that was it. You were just giving me more feedback. Yeah, so pretty easy. CC says, what would you tip the Cabana person at Coca Key? I usually I figure out the number based on the amount of people. So whatever it is, I pick a number, multiply it out, CC. So, if it was just my family, family of 4, and we were doing a Cabana, $100 is probably what I would do. But it depends on what the Cabana attendant was doing. Were they going above and beyond? Were they getting things for my kids that they probably shouldn't have been getting, but they were getting anyway? How attentive were they? How quickly were they? Lots of factors involved there. But again, what I tip, CC, doesn't mean what you have to tip there. I am not the arbiter or they say everyone should do what I do. Far from it. Please, you don't have to do it that way. But we have a bigger group, CC. Like if I have if we're sharing a Cabana with friends, then I think we just basically say, okay, there's this many people. Let's pick a number and multiply it out and go about it that way. So, Chick Cohen says, do you have a list of non-alcoholic? Boy, can I not talk? A list of non-alcoholic cocktail lists. No, there's not a list per se, but we do have an article about this on royalcaribbeanblog.com. Basically, they can make anything non-alcoholic. I mean, you can take a pina colada, which is inherently an alcoholic drink, and make it non-alcoholic. We have a list. Here you go. 8 mocktails to try. So, Chick, I'm posting it in the chat. Check out the mocktail list for some suggestions on mocktails to try. Boy, I'm really far behind in the chat. Garrett, thank you for the super chat. My show will be closed for about 3 months for refurb. We were there last Thursday. Correct. Yes. Thank you for reminding me about that. Actually, Garrett, I'm going to Costa Maya in September. They will not be open. My backup place, which we're going to, is Jamie's at Blue Reef. It's another all-inclusive, but it's not quite as expansive of an operation as Maya Chan. But we're going there in September. I've been there before. I went there in February, and it was lovely. So, good place. What was the place, Matt? Jamie's just Google Jamie's at Blue Reef, Costa Maya. You will find it over there. Come with me. Leaving on Liberty to Galveston. Do you know what the drink policy is? They're saying that we can't use our drink package while importing Galveston. You can use it, but there's limited drinks. And there's Texas liquor laws. Isn't it ironic that a state that is so about, don't tread on me has very stringent liquor laws? Doesn't that seem like ironic? Anyway, there will be limited amount of drinks you can order while you're in Texas waters. But as soon as the ship leaves that evening and you're out of there, all the regular stuff comes back. So it's just that couple hours there while you're in the. And by the way, thank you, Jorge. This is the correct spelling of Mahawal. One of these days I'll pronounce it correctly. Johnny, have you sailed out of Tampa? Yes, love it. Great. We do it almost every year. It's really good. Kelly, my chain is epic. Absolutely couldn't agree more with you on that one. Diane, I think Sailway at Cape Liberty is the most beautiful. Ooh, New York City. Yeah, you're not wrong on that one. Yeah, that's another good one as well. So, have I ever taken a cruise out of Hawaii cruise from Vancouver? I have not. My parents did, actually. They didn't invite me on that cruise. They went by themselves. Can you believe that? They got me a t-shirt, though. Sharon Stockman. Woo! Holy moly, I'm almost going to die. Oh, Sharon, thank you so much. Woo! I'm sorry I've been gone so long. I watched all the playbacks. My mom's health is declining. Oh, no. Sharon, take time to spend with mom. This is not important. Please get your time in with mom. I'll always be here. Well, I mean, at least for the next 30 years, probably. But but spend time with mom. She's way more important. I hope your mom pulls through and does better. But savor that time. It's much more important. You don't have to explain yourself to me, Sharon. It's good to see you. Obviously, thank you for your generosity. I really appreciate it. But your mom is I'm sure you know this, but get that time in with her. So. Yeah. Dodie wants to know, how does bidding work? So, once you get within final payment date, usually you get an email, Dodie, saying, "Hey, here's an opportunity to bid." If you don't, you just go to Royal Caribbean's website at any time. Go to the homepage. Towards the bottom, there's a Royal Up, or I think it says Royal Up is the link. Just Google Royal Up, Royal Caribbean, and there's a link to bid for it. And you put in your reservation number and your name, and it basically says, "Okay, Dodie, if these rooms were available, how much would you bid for them?" And you're going to be like, "What? I don't know." Yeah. Well, they give you some suggestions about here's the starting price. And basically, Dodie, if there was availability, not saying there is, but if there was, if you were the highest bidder for that category room, then you would get it and you'd be automatically moved up there. You don't get to pick the room number, but that's theoretically how it works. It's a little bit of a black box. You're not sure how it works, but occasionally people get things in there. So Stacey, have you heard any changes from the CDC? No, I have not, unfortunately. And Dodie, by the way, thank you for the super chat. I believe that was your question about Royal Up. So thank you. And another one? Are you kidding me? Sharon Stockman again. Holy moly. Would you have a recommendation for tipping in Star Class? Book Star Class on Harmony out of Galveston, December 2033. 11 years from now. I know it's a typo. It's really tough, Sharon. I remember when I did my first Star Class room, and I had the exact same question. And so I posted on the Royal Caribbean blog message boards. And there are numbers, Sharon, that go from the okay to the absurd, in my opinion. I mean, there are literally people, I don't agree with it, but there are people that tip in the 5 figures. 5, right? 4 figures. Sorry, not 5. No. I don't think anyone tips in 5 figures. 4 figures, right? More than $1,000. Now, listen, maybe they're getting amazing service. I don't know. I've heard all sorts of numbers. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, Sharon. I really don't. I know that's not the answer you're looking for. If you tipped, you're probably if you're on a 7-night cruise in Star Class, could you tip $100 a person? Sure, that would not be a bad tip there, I mean, $100 a day? Some people say that. I mean, literally the numbers are all over the place, and there isn't a firm number that's out there. I remember we wrote an article about this, not about tipping, but just Star Class in general. And a former genie wrote in the comments, and I forget if it was him or her, it doesn't matter. But that person basically said that the tipping rates are just all over. But the genie really does appreciate whatever you can give them. So it's not like it's not a contest, certainly. It's not uh it I think you have to determine what you're comfortable with, because at the end of the day, you got to, what you can afford is what you can afford, and what you think is appropriate given everything that was there. So it's kind of a lame answer, but I can't tell you, Sharon, that the answer is $200, $400, $1,000. Like it all depends on how many people are in your room, right? I have 4 people in my cabin. Yeah. And guys, please keep the political stuff out of the chat. Eric Dobkin, I'm looking at you, I think. I just saw a comment, Eric. So just, guys, there's no need for political talk at all, ever in here. Don't mess with Texas. I'm sorry. I'm just saying that you've got, on the one hand, you're all about the don't mess with Texas. Then you have the weird alcohol laws from like 1950. I don't know. What's the best way to book a shore excursion? I mean, there's compelling different thoughts. You can obviously book it through. The cruise line is easiest to book it through. Booking on your own can save you money, give you more options, but it's more about your personal preference. It's a bigger conversation there, which again, RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com has, but I would consider both. Is an Alaska cruise or Caribbean cruise better? They're both great. I think Alaska is better because of the scenery, but I go on many more Caribbean cruises because it's a lot easier to get to the Caribbean. So they're both good in their own ways. Thanks, Mom. I know. It's a mom answer right there. John says, we booked the Disney transfers and excursion to Cape Canaveral. Was a mistake. Yes. You cancel it. I'm telling you, John, you're wasting your money because you're going to get to the parks well after they open. You'll be behind the 8 ball. You're not going to be there the entire day. It's a waste of money. If you want to do Disney, great. Book a cruise out of Port Canaveral and do Disney World either before or after the cruise. The transfer is a complete waste of money. You will not get much done there, and it's just gonna, cancel it. Let's see here. Next question. We got only time for a couple more questions, guys. We're almost at an hour already. Have a Symphony of the Seas cruise book for February 23. There are not any options for booking Cabanas or Perfect Day Key. When will these options open up? It depends. Usually check back about 6 months ahead of time. There's no exact date. It's just, eventually it'll be there. Allie, one of our writers here at Royal Caribbean Blog in the house. What's up, Allie? Hope you are doing well. Allie's done some great writing for us on a couple different ships, and she is quite astute at the cheap cabin stuff over there. So, good stuff there, Allie. Good to see you here. Thanks for checking in. 3 minutes before I have to end the broadcast. Always timeliness is always important there. That'll be on her record. Chris, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for all the information. Thank you, buddy. Really appreciate you. Danny DiMatteo, thank you, Danny. Appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, no worries. Then, Eric, I apologize to you for misconstruing your comments. I apologize. I mean, I stand by. I said there's no proof of politics here, but I apologize for calling you out because you weren't doing anything wrong. So, my apologies. Sorry. We had somebody earlier, Eric, who was instigating, and Ali was late to the chat. Did you notice that? Did you notice that thing? Andrew, thank you for the super chat. Matt, my dad fell asleep. Can you say wake up, Harold? I don't know which. Hold on a second. Wake up, Harold. Thank you for the super chat. Sharon Stockman again. Sharon, stop it. I appreciate it, but thank you. I don't deserve it. Of course, I'm in 2023. Actually, I was able to book a back-to-back Star Class for the same price 1 week would have cost 1 week on Symphony. Wow. Shout out to Beth Dickerson, MEI Travel. Beth is amazing. Beth, I hear you calling, but I can't come home right now. Love that song. And Beth from MEI Travel. She's great too. Angie in the house, our social media person. I don't know what you have a title that's much better than that I forgot I gave you, but Angie manages a lot of our social media channels along with Nicole. So it's a party in here. How are you, Angie? Hope you're doing well. Can you believe that Allie was late to the chat? My goodness. Jeez. You think you know somebody. Ian, thank you for the super chat. Good evening. Good evening. Happy 4th of July. Currently on Oasis of the Season. It's day 4 of my 7-day Perfect day, Bahamas cruise. I'm already jealous of this comment. How long will Oasis of the Seas be in Bayonne? She's in Oasis. Oh boy, Oasis is in Bayonne for the summer. So she comes back to Florida. I forget exactly when. I want to say around October or so. So somewhere in that ballpark or so. Yeah. Riley, will Royal Caribbean accept a home COVID test, or do you need something more official? You need no. The only at-home COVID tests they accept are proctored ones, like the Abbott's Binax Now. So you cannot use, Riley, like those tests you get at, like the ones over the counter ones. Those will not work. They will not be acceptable. So make sure you get, if there are at-home tests available, that's the Abbott. Go to emed.com. Make this really easy. emed.com. Get it over there. You're good to go. Mike Wolf. What's going on? Let's see. Wow, I'm almost caught up the chat here. Armando, is it better to prepay gratuities or not? I always do so, Armando. I prepay for one. Well, I guess two reasons. One, if you prepay, you lock in the gratuity rate. So, Armando, if Royal Caribbean were to increase the gratuity rate later on before your cruise, you would still be locked in at the old rate. But more importantly, I just prefer to keep my onboard account cleaner, less charges at the end of the cruise. So I prefer it that way. But there isn't a right or wrong. It's just more of a billing question. Would you rather pay it off now or pay it off at the end of the cruise? So Corey, I've already booked a cruise, but can I use a travel agent? If you booked it within the last 30 days, yes, you can still transfer it, but it must be within 30 days. So hope that makes sense. And we got 3 more questions here, and then we're going to wrap it up. Frog 1, do you get off the ship after you arrive to place? Yes. Is the key worth it? No. Happily ever Yadi. I use Emed, just used alert. Yeah, Emed is super fantastic. Love it. All right, guys, on that note, and actually I promised you 3 questions, so here's 3 questions. Have you ever done the Sky Glider gondola at Icy Strait Point? I've not. I've never been to Icy Strait Point, unfortunately. So, yeah, no, I've not been. Can't give you a recommendation there. I'm sorry. Thank you all so much. I can't answer it. I can't end this on a I don't know. Hold on. All right. Last question is from Mashed Taters. How long before my cruise do I find out if I won the Royal Up bid? It could honestly be all the way up until the day of your cruise. I know it's kind of weird, right? But it really could. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us here. Superstarian in the house. Superstarian 13 more days. Have a great day, everybody. Check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. If I didn't get to your questions, please feel free to go post your questions over on our message boards at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, or we'll be live again next Monday right here on YouTube at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Allie, so you can be on time. Now I'll say some thank yous to our super chatters today. Mike, thank you. Iyad, thank you. Sharon, thank you so much. Andrew, wake up, Harold. Danny, thank you. Chris, thank you. Sharon, thank you again so much. Dodie, thank you. Sharon Stockman, thank you. So I had a mom for me. Garrett, thank you. TJ, thank you. Mark, thank you. Patience, thank you. Eric Dobkin, thank you. Matt, thank you. Alejandro, thank you ×2. Kenny, thank you. Deanna, thank you. Camille, thank you. Aaron, thank you. Susan, thank you. Teresa, thank you. Joel, thank you. KSB Bama Fan 1, thank you. Scott, thank you. Carter, thank you. Donna, thank you. Clinton, thank you. ZR, thank you. Slow Runner, thank you. Pam, thank you. Kathy, thank you. Joshua, thank you. Chris, thank you. BC31, thank you. Joel, thank you. Tobias, thank you. JRX, thank you. Chris, thank you. Brandy, thank you. Hillary, thank you. Josh, thank you. And of course, Sherry, thank you all so much for your generosity today. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Jill Russell is here. Now we can end the chat. My life is complete. At least my day is complete. Jill, even though you called me Mary, I don't care. Jill, you're the nicest person on earth. Thank you, Jill. Thank you to everybody for checking us out. We'll be live again next Monday right here on YouTube. Until then, have a great week. Stay safe out there. Do something fun. And we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Good night, everybody.